We start with breaking news from here in Germany, where Chancellor Olaf Scholz has lost a vote of confidence in Parliament. Scholz won the support of only 207 lawmakers, far short of the majority needed to win. He'd been expected to lose the vote after his three-party coalition collapsed in early November, when he fired his finance minister in a dispute over how to revitalize Germany's stagnant economy. It paves the way for snap elections in February, and this is the moment when the result was announced.
The Chancellor's motion did not achieve the required majority of at least 367 votes in favour. I will inform the President of the result of the vote without delay. That brings us to the end of our agenda and to the end of the coalition.
Well, we can cross live now to the German Parliament, the Bundestag, and DW's chief political editor, Michaela Kufner, who's standing by for us. Michaela, great to see you. Busy day indeed for you. We have the result we expected, so what happens next?
Yes, well, we heard from the President of Parliament. She's going to inform the President, Germany's federal president, who has a largely ceremonial role. And he has 21 days within which he can decide what to do. He could also try and get the coalition or the former coalition to have to talk to each other again. But we understand from the comments he's made before that he will clear the way for elections on the 23rd of February. So it's largely procedural from now onwards on that road to those snap elections.
All right, so if it is indeed, as you say, confirmed that the election will take place on the 23rd of February next year, what issues are set to dominate on the campaign trail?
Well, a big one is the economy. That's because Germany, which is the third or fourth largest economy in the world, depending on who you believe, and we heard both mentioned here in Parliament today, has a lot of economic indicators pointing downward. It's also in the midst of a technology transition. Its key car industry is particularly hit, also the electronic vehicle section of it. And that has sparked huge concerns here in Germany that Germany's heyday of being also an industrial country could be over. So that is something that's looming very large. Olaf Scholz's response is to want to pour more money into the economy, to give out grants for specific industries. That is something that is countered by the leader of the opposition, Friedrich Merz, the leader of the conservative CDU-CSU party union, formerly known as Angela Merkel's party. He wants to create new dynamism by cutting taxes. He had a scathing condemnation, not just of the performance of this coalition here today, but also personally of the Chancellor and of him at the European level. And we also expect other issues like migration to play a large role. The bigger that becomes of an issue, the more it plays into the hands of the far-right AfD party, which is neck and neck with the Chancellor's own SPD party, hovering just below 20%. The leading Conservatives currently in the polls at around 30%. So these will be key issues that both sides are zooming in on, and they've already each accused each other of not having done the maths in their party programs and simply not having the financing straight. Just a quick reminder, that's the exact issue why this whole coalition essentially imploded.
Yeah, it certainly did. Now, Scholz will be leading a minority government for the next 2 months. So where does this leave the German Chancellor on the world stage? Because it's a pretty hectic time at the moment.
Yes, well, Parliament is formally dissolved, but it remains the Parliament. It can still take decisions, but both the government and Parliament can't take key decisions for Germany anymore. So there is a huge element of a lame duck key nation here in Europe, neighboring, of course, France, which has its very own struggles with political stability. And the spotlight will potentially be on Italy, interestingly enough, when Donald Trump comes into office on the 20th of January and unveils what his plans are in Europe and what he no longer plans to do. So it was admitted also by the Vice-Chancellor, the Green Trade Minister, Habeck, here in Parliament today, that this comes at a very bad point in time. but it appears that it simply was no longer avoidable. This implosion, essentially, of what was a political experiment, a three-way coalition, but that doesn't mean that there won't need to be another one to get a majority following those snap elections.
We'll leave it there, Michaela. Thanks for that update. DW's chief political editor, Michaela Kufner, joining us from the German Parliament in the Bundestag.